Bob Moseley. I'm the founder of Astrology Boot Camp, and this little video blurb is designed to let you know a little bit about who I am, so you can get a feel for what I do, and hopefully based on that decide if you want to work with me or not.
Excellent. Good to have you here, Robert. How are we feeling today?
I feel more energized than the first time we tried this.
It's been so long ago, huh? So, Mr. Moseley, would you tell me a little bit about your feelings on astrology and, the paths in life that led you to it?
I think to become an astrologer, you have to have a fair amount of karma. You have to have a deep need to understand things in a deep way, which I've always had. I've always wanted to understand the bone marrow of the bone marrow of something that I was interested in. Consequently, for people who respond to astrology, I think that they need to understand who they are in what I would call a 360-degree way. They need to understand all the parts that comprise who they are as a person. And the idea about astrology that I have is that it's really about wholeness and not perfection. And when I talk about wholeness, what I mean is that personally, I want to have a relationship with the light parts of me, the dark parts of me, the constructive parts of me, the deconstructive or destructive parts of me that's non-judgmental, so that I have access to all of my energy. But I'm very smart about how I use that energy, so if I'm going to go primitive or primordial, I'm in a safe, secure setting where I'm not going to hurt myself or anybody else. And that way, there's no part of me that I'm afraid of, because I express all my parts. I just pick where I do it and how I do it, which I see a lot of people don't. They just want a simplified kind of little box that they can live in. Not that it's my place to judge them, but I just want more, and I want to contact people who want more.
You mentioned the idea of being whole. What does the word holistic mean to you, and how does it integrate into this current offering?
Well, whole means not segmented. I think a lot of people compartmentalize their lives. You know, they've got their work life, then they've got their family life, then they've got their private life. My idea is to have all of that unified, so that you have a life of integrity, an integrated life. The way that it fits into astrology, I don't know of any other wisdom tradition that looks at every element of your life in a 360-degree way and gives you clear insights. Now, often the insights that it gives you will lead to some apparent contradictions in your character, but working on your contradictions and integrating them is what makes you an interesting and unique human being. I very much am opposed to segmenting or trying to divorce myself from a part of myself I couldn't get rid of if I tried. I think a lot of people want to get rid of certain emotions, and the only way to get rid of something is to embrace it, to own it, to go through it, and then it's not an issue anymore.
That's interesting. Now, along the same lines, your business is called Astrology Boot Camp. Can you explain further about the boot camp aspect of this offering?
If you want to be whole, if you want to have all of your energy, if you want to live out your true potential, you got to go to the mat. It's challenging. There are things in all of us that we don't know about or don't want to know about, but that we need to own and integrate in order to become a whole human being, the whole human being we were meant to be. The life that's right for me is not going to be the life that's right for you. And what I'm interested in helping you determine through my work is the life that's right for you, and find a way to get to that. And that requires some emotional work, it requires some physical work, it requires some movement, it requires a lot more than what most astrologers offer, which is a 2-hour head trip, where they give you information that you take and you listen to periodically, but it doesn't penetrate you. Boot camp is about getting to the core of everything that is going on with you, and giving a place of honor and respect to the parts of you you hate the most, so that you've got all of yourself available to go ahead and live the life that you want to live. And quite often, people will live in patterns that are aligned with their past lives, but are not healthy for them now. And so it requires some education, and it requires some boot camp, some training to really get yourself up to the speed you need to be to have the life that's right for you. And that's the idea behind boot camp.
Excellent. Now, I see that you're quite a physically fit man. How do you keep your physique, and what do you do in your life to stay physically active?
I play a lot of golf. Golf's demanding, so I work on my flexibility and my strength and my agility all the time. I work out regularly to keep myself in reasonable shape. I walk when I play. I don't ride. And because golf is such a game of a lifetime, if you stay reasonably fit, you can play it well for a long time, and that motivates you to stay in shape. It kind of works back and forth. So that's what I do mostly. I work on the round ball where you do the sit-ups. I don't know what they call it. I work on a tube, a polyurethane tube. I do all kinds of stretches.
Very cool, Bob. Bob, I've enjoyed talking with you today. I think this is a great trial video. Any last words that you'd like to say to any potential viewers out there?
If you want to live the life that's right for you, you got to dig in a little bit. You got to look at some parts of you don't want to look at. That's what's going to free you to have the life you've talked about for years but haven't been able to put into place yet. So come work with me and I can get you there.
Excellent. Robert Moseley, it's been a pleasure talking with you today. You can check this man out on Google plus Robert Moseley, or you can just check him out at his wonderful website, astrologybootcamp.com. That's astrology-bootcamp.com. Thank you very much again.
Thank you.